The spirit of healing is said to be a legendary being that resonates with all living beings and can perform miracles. She is said to have incomparable beauty and power and is worshipped as a goddess by humans. Well, at least it is what a powerful dragon has heard, and he thinks that the powerful spirit of healing can heal his pet. So he uses his magic to summon her, promising to reward her well if she can help him. However, what comes out of the summoning circle is not the spirit of healing but a human named Kim Ojin, who is completely clueless about what is happening. After staring at him for a while, the dragon thinks out loud that if this is overwhelming beauty, humans sure have weird beauty standards. After doing bro dirty like that, the dragon says that appearance doesn't matter because what he needs is his ability to heal. Well, Ojin is not even listening to the dragon because he thinks that he has finally died and now he can rest. Ojin used to be a 32-year-old veterinary doctor whose life had been full of struggle. After 6 years of studying and 3 years of working a low-paying job, he finally opened his own hospital. But he didn't get any customers. In the end, he became a broke and bitter loser who hated his life with every bit of it. One day, as he was lying in bed, cursing everything without discriminating, and thinking if he should perform self-checkout from life because of the increasing interest on his student loans, his room suddenly started shaking. The next thing he knew, he was in a huge, cold cave with a giant talking lizard and a pile of treasure that looked like he would get cursed if he was greedy enough to touch it. Ojin didn't think that he was in another world. He thought he had died and was in hell. That was not really bad news for him because it meant a permanent break from his terrible life, and he low-key eagerly asked the dragon what was going to happen to him now. The dragon simply asks him to heal his pet, and Ojin wants to flip out, thinking that he has to work even in hell. He thinks that he will have to treat a vicious monster like the Cerberus, but he is shocked when he sees the dragon holding a little and very sick bat. He can immediately tell that this Pokemon-looking creature belongs to the fruit bat family, but he wonders what it is doing with the dragon. The bat doesn't look like it is healthy, and it seems drained of all energy. Ojin immediately goes into doctor mode and begins examining the bat while asking the dragons questions about it. The dragon says that the bat is named Catless and he started raising him a week ago because keeping bats as pets is the latest trend in dragon society nowadays. Last week, our dragon visited a party with other dragons, and he felt FOMO when he saw all of them with their pet bats, so he decided to raise one as well. He tells Ojin that he found the cute bat hanging on a dungeon roof, so he picked him up, and that was it. Ojin is shocked to hear that, because people who adopt pets just because it is trendy get the second place in his list of pet owners he hates. Anyway, he tells the dragon that the bat looks like it hasn't eaten anything, and he replies that he catches animals to feed him fresh blood each day, but the bat doesn't even touch it. Well, now Ojin gets pissed because owners who don't bother to learn about their pet before adopting them fall at number 5 on his list of hated pet owners. Ojin tells him that his pet is a fruit bat who can't eat blood, and when the dragon says that other dragons feed blood to their bats, Ojin finally bursts out like a bottle of Coke with a handful of Mentos tossed inside. He yells at the dragon, saying that this bat is from a different species and it can only eat fruit. He lashes at the dragon for starving it for 1 week, and when he replies that he didn't know all that, Ojin tells him that he should have studied before taking up the responsibility of another living being. He then yells that the cave is too cold for the bat to live and tells the ice dragon that he shouldn't even think of having pets if he can't provide the right environment. Well, the dragon is intimidated by Ojin's intensity, and he thinks that the spirit of healing is really powerful and dedicated to its job. He starts feeling guilty for hurting the bat unintentionally and apologizes to it, promising that he will find some fresh fruits for it right away and then return it to its original place. Ojin realizes that the dragon is a better person than he thought, and then the dragon says he will give him the reward he promised earlier. Ojin immediately asks him to make him be born as an Arab oil prince in the next life. There's not a single thought behind those eyes. However, the dragon has no idea what he means by that and decides to give him a magical artifact imbued with his divine power, and using it, Ojin can create anything he wants. However, he warns that if he has evil intentions, he won't be able to use it, but he has full faith in Ojin that he won't be troubled by that. With that, the dragon thanks him and says that he will send him home now. Only now does Ojin realize that he is kind of the main character of a novel, and is being sent back to his life. He tries to tell the dragon to send him back to the time when Bitcoin was just $1, but it is too late for that, and he is sent out of the dragon's cave. Ojin falls to his knees just as he comes out on the other side and wishes that he had trained himself to wish faster. He then wonders what the hell he is supposed to do with the necklace the dragon gave him because he doesn't even know how to use it. As he is busy thinking that the dragon scammed him, a big and burly guy hauling barrels tells him to get aside. He tosses Ojin into the main street, where he sees that the world in front of his eyes is not the one he recognizes. He realizes that the dragon sent him somewhere else instead of sending him home and immediately asks a fruit seller about the place. She thinks that he is a traveler because of his strange clothes and tells him that he is in the Belmore region south of Baron Doyle's domain. She begins telling him about the place and then asks Ojin where he is from, and he just says that he is from a very far-off place. Just as they are making small talk, they hear some loud sounds, and as they turn around, they see a giant bunny named Elizabeth eating vegetables by the crates. Well, everyone runs for their life because they know the 16-month-old giant lop-eared rabbit who has been ruining their lives for some time now. Ojin asks if monsters casually roam around in cities here, and the fruit seller tells him that Elizabeth is not a monster, but the Lord's pet, and then advises him to run while he still can. Ojin is confused by that when suddenly he sees the giant rabbit menacingly standing behind a crying girl. The rabbit tries to eat her, and in a state of pure adrenaline rush, Ojin manages to get her away from danger in time. However, the very next moment, he finds the bunny targeting him, and he thinks that he is going to die now. He curses the rabbit's owner, saying that if they want to bring out such a huge animal in public, they should at least put it on a leash. Just as he thinks this, the necklace given to him by the dragon shows its power and sends a beam of magic towards the rabbit, successfully tying it down with a magic leash. Both Ojin and the rabbit are confused by this, and then suddenly, the city lord arrives there. He gets furious at Ojin for trying to restrain his pet, and when he reveals that the rabbit was about to kill someone, the Lord passionately defends her, saying that his cute little baby can't harm anyone. Well, Ojin stops holding back because he also hates pet owners who keep on saying that their pets will never harm anyone. He tells the Lord to stick his head inside the rabbit's mouth if he is so confident, and he is completely intimidated by his aura. But then Ojin notices some bald patches on the rabbit's fur, and he immediately switches to his vet mode. He begins lecturing the Lord that rabbits are territorial animals and they shouldn't be taken to unfamiliar places because it makes them panic, which means he shouldn't bring Elizabeth out to the city. He then asks if she has been showing any signs of self-harm or aggression, and the Lord is shocked because he guessed it correctly. He admits that Elizabeth has been pulling her fur a lot lately, and Ojin says that it is a clear sign of stress, and if she continues doing it, she can become really unhealthy. The Lord freaks out on hearing that, and Ojin tells him that if he wants his pet to live a long and healthy life, he should immediately stop taking her out on walks and instead give her some exercise at home. He then begins lecturing the Lord about how rabbits are sensitive animals and they need to be raised with care and knowledge. Instead of getting offended by all this, the Lord thinks that Ojin loves rabbits, and that fact touches his heart because till now everyone has judged him for raising a rabbit because it is considered a womanly activity. Ojin doesn't even want to say anything, and then the Lord pays him a huge amount of money, asking him to check up on Elizabeth from time to time. With that, the Lord takes his rabbit home, and Ojin is left confused. However, all the people in the market come out of hiding and start cheering for him because he saved them from the rabbit, and got rewarded from the Lord even after insulting. As the fruit seller tells Ojin that he is rich now, he suddenly opens the pouch the Lord gave him and finds solid gold coins inside it. Suddenly, Ojin has his eureka moment, and he thinks that if he can open a shop here, he can earn more than enough money to last 100 lifetimes. And then, if he can find a way to go back to Earth, he will be rich there too. Soon, Ojin calls an interview for the post of his assistant at the hospital, but he acts like he is recruiting people into the mafia. Part of the reason behind his overconfidence is how easily he got his clinic open thanks to the help of the Lord, who bought everything and gifted it to him. He also got a lot of free rabbit merchandise, and Ojin was never one to complain about free stuff. However, there was one problem before he could start working. He had to gather more information about this world and especially about the dragon because only he would be able to send him back home. That is why he posted a job vacancy for his assistant's post, hoping that he could find someone skilled in handling animals as well as knowledgeable about the world. That leads us to the moment of the interview. The first candidate is a total poser, and the second guy comes from a family of butchers, so Ojin immediately disqualifies them. The third guy is as crazy as he looks, and he is here just because he heard that Ojin is a wizard, and now he wants to be used and humiliated by him. He starts approaching Ojin creepily when the last candidate asks him if he needs some help in cleaning up the mess. Ojin asks her to help, and the girl immediately smacks the living daylights out of the creep. She then introduces herself as Selena, a roaming animal expert and a basic level doctor. Ojin hires her on the spot, But the next day, Selena doesn't show up to work even when it is well past noon. He thinks about firing her when someone knocks on the door and he thinks it is her. Ojin opens the door with a sarcastic remark, asking if she has had lunch yet, but it turns out the person at his door is actually a client. Ojin gladly welcomes him in and starts serving him tea, because in the last life, he was like the Gordon Ramsay of veterinary doctors who roasted irresponsible pet owners brutally, and that led to him getting a lot of negative feedback about his clinic online. This time, he plans to act nice all the time, even if he has to fake it, because that is the only way to get his business running. He then asks the bard where his pet is, and the man reveals that he has been keeping a lizard he named Pajak in his shirt pocket. Ojin is almost tempted to insult the man for not keeping the lizard in a cage, but he just asks if it chewed through its cage. However, the man proudly declares that Pajak looks cuter in his pocket. Ojin almost flips the table in rage, but he controls his anger and asks the bard if his pet is ill. The bard replies that Pajak is not ill, but he seems weak and sensitive to cold. He also says that the lizard's tail fell off when he tried to pick it up, and Ojin gets even more pissed at that. The bard eagerly asks him to make his pet healthy, and Ojin is almost tempted to tell him that the pet is not the problem, but he is. Anyway, he decides to conduct a checkup and finds that the lizard is suffering from a disease that stops him from shedding his old skin. Just then, the bard tells him to be careful while touching Pajak because he can be aggressive, but he is too late because the angry lizard shoots a fireball at Ojin point blank. Luckily, Selena comes to work just in time and throws him away to protect him from being grilled. She then says that she almost lost her boss on the first day of work, and Ojin feels like getting hit by the fireball would be better than being slammed against the wall. While he recovers, Selena questions the bard about the lizard and asks where he got it from. He replies that he picked it from the mountain because he fell in love with him at first sight. Selena quickly tells him that it is illegal to capture salamanders in this territory because they are a vulnerable species and also too wild to handle. The bard immediately picks up Pajak and runs away, saying that no laws can separate him from his animal soulmate. Just as he exits the clinic, Ojin returns after gathering the necessary stuff for treatment of the lizard. He is absolutely livid on seeing his first client run away like this, and he tells Selena to chase him down if she wants to keep her job. Soon, Ojin and Selena follow the bard, who refuses to get caught because he thinks they will take his pet away from him. But Ojin's physical health is even worse than his mental health, and he is forced to stop soon. Selena stops with him and asks him if the salamander could not really molt, and he affirms, saying that there were at least 2 layers of skin around its body already, so they need to be removed surgically. Selena gets tense on hearing this and says that they need to hurry because if a salamander can't molt, fire builds up inside it, and when the fire reaches unbearable levels, it becomes a ticking bomb that can destroy the entire area. At the same time, the bard reaches his house and places Pajak on his pillow, saying that no one can separate them here. With that, he begins writing a song about the power of love, not realizing that the power of love is not enough to contain the raging fire within his pet salamander. By the time he notices it, it is too late, and Pajak explodes into flames. The bard panics on seeing this and asks the salamander how he can set a fire like this. He approaches the flaming lizard, who prepares to fire at him too, but the bard can't believe that he can hurt him. Luckily, Selena arrives there right on time to save him, and Ojin shuts the salamander's mouth to stop it from hurting anyone. Selena tells him that they need to treat it quickly before it becomes even more dangerous, but Ojin thinks it will be hard to even calm it. He wishes that there was at least a fire extinguisher here, and the necklace listens to his wishes, creating a fire extinguisher. He is surprised to see it but immediately sprays the extinguisher on the salamander, calming it down. However, even after all this, the bard thinks that his pet would not have attacked him if he was not on the verge of going berserk. He says that he will take better care of it from now on and make sure that it molts properly. But Ojin has had enough. He lashes out at the bard, asking what he would have done if his pet had burnt down the entire neighborhood. He quickly calms down and says that he gets that the bard loves the lizard. But that is not enough. It is wrong to pick animals from their natural habitat just because they are cute, and love is not enough to take care of them. Soon after that, Ojin operates on the salamander, letting it molt and become healthy again. But to his surprise, it has grown quite a bit larger and more majestic. Even Selena is surprised at this, but on the other hand, the bard is really emotional because he has decided to send his pet back to the wild. With tears in his eyes, he tells Pajak to be happy because he is letting him go because he loves him. While the sad bard is reciting poems for his pet, the salamander completely ignores him and runs away. The bard breaks down at this, but Selena comforts him, telling him that salamanders don't have a concept of master or owner, and Pajak probably only saw him as a slave who feeds him. While Ojin is wondering if those words are really helping the already broken man, Pajak reaches a high cliff and releases a fireball, turning it into fireworks that brilliantly light up the sky. Everyone is impressed by this, and the bard begins crying on realizing that he is happy because Pajak is happy. Soon after that, they return to the city where the bard puts on a performance along with some artists. Well, his latest song is about Ojin, the miraculous healer who defeated the Lord's rabbit, and then treated his salamander. Well, Ojin is really cringed out by his song, but to the people of the city, the bard is like their Justin Bieber, and they are really influenced by his song. They begin talking about how the doctor in the song seems nice, and if their pets get sick, they will surely go see him, and Ojin immediately changes his opinion. He becomes a fan of the bard because he is doing free promotion work for him. Well, the promotion works much better than he worked, and honestly, after a few days, Ojin almost begins regretting it as people have become crazy about getting him to see their pets. They queue up outside his clinic and keep knocking even before he is open for business, and Selena wants to resign because she didn't sign up for this kind of workload. That's all for this video, but Kim Ojin's journey as a veterinary doctor in another world is just beginning, and he will heal more than just animals as time goes on. If you want to see how that goes out, leave a like and a comment on this video, and subscribe to our channel to see more such content.